Alright, so the next pattern we're going to take a look at is the bullish momentum pattern. And this right here is one of my favorite patterns because it's pretty easy to identify and they can also provide very strong signals. So let's first take a look at this pattern. So this pattern we can actually consider a simple pattern because the actual pattern is only one candlestick. However, it's very important that we compare this candlestick with the previous candles, and I will talk more about that later on. And as we can hear on the name, this right here is a bullish pattern, and this right here is a continuation pattern, I would say, but you can actually also use this pattern as a reversal pattern, but most commonly I would say it's a continuation pattern, so let's classify this as a continuation. So before this pattern we preferably want to see an uptrend, but after this uptrend the price should enter a sort of sideways or consolidation phase. This movement can be slightly upwards, or it can actually also be sideways or even slightly downwards. Then the actual pattern appears, and the goal of this pattern is to continue the price upwards. And how do we identify this pattern? Well, what we're looking out for here is that we're looking out for a strong green candle, so we want the real body of the candle to be very long. The upper wick, we can have a upper wick and we can have a longer wick, but for the momentum pattern I actually prefer if we have shorter wicks, but we can have longer wicks as well. But the most important part about this pattern is that we want this candlestick right here to be at least 2 times as large as the real bodies of the previous candles. And here the question is, of course, how many candles should we measure? Traders have slightly different methods, but I recommend that you measure at least 3 candles before the pattern appears. So we want the candle to be twice the size, the real body should be twice the size as at least the 3 previous candles. I hope this doesn't sound confusing, but what we basically do for this pattern is that we compare the size of the candlestick bodies. So now let's take a look at a bullish momentum trading strategy. And as always, the first thing we need to do is to identify the pattern. So remember, to find a bullish momentum candle, we need to compare candles with previous candles. And actually, if you look at this candle right here, you can see that this right here is a pretty strong bullish candle. It's, for example, it's not as strong as this candle and not as strong as this candle. But what is important about this candle is that the real body is twice the size compared to all of the previous candles. So we can actually consider this right here a bullish momentum candle. And another thing that is very important in this case is that we actually have, you can see we have a pretty clear resistance level right here. You can see the price got reacted, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. And here the price was just hovering very close to the resistance. And another thing we can notice is that the price is actually printing, as you can see, higher lows into the resistance as well. So in this particular case, it looks like we actually have some sort of ascending triangle pattern. And by the way, guys, if you want to learn more about chart patterns, I actually have a full chart pattern trading course here on my YouTube channel. So I will make sure to link that video somewhere up in the corner in the eye, and I highly recommend that you guys check that video out after you are done with this video. But now then, so how do we trade this pattern? Well, the most common method is to simply enter at the candle close of the momentum candle. Some traders wait for confirmation, but in this case, I think the confirmation, after the confirmation, we are already very high up. And most of the times, I actually prefer to enter right after the momentum candle. When it comes to your stop loss level for your momentum candle, here it's very important to consider the market structure. So remember, here we actually have a sort of triangle pattern with consecutive higher lows. And in this case, I would actually place my stop loss below the most recent low. This is the common method for the ascending triangle, and I would actually handle this as an ascending triangle. So the stop loss level I would actually place just slightly below this point. So as always, we leave some wiggle room. And as for our target, we can either measure the length up to the entry. We take this measurement with a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Our target would be right around here. Another method is to actually measure the triangle here. So you can take this measurement, measure from the breakout, and you will also get the target something like this. So what I did right here, if it wasn't clear, is that I took this exact length, I sort of took that exact length and I measured from the breakout point. I took that measurement and our target level would have been around here. But now, a question you all might have at this point is, you know, can't we find any other momentum candles right here? For example, isn't this right here a momentum candle? Because we can see that this candle is a very strong green candle. Well, if we look closely here at the previous candles, we can actually see that the real body of this candle right here is probably, you know, at least half the size compared to this candle. So this isn't really a momentum candle. Once again, if we look at this candle right here, we can see that we have a strong bullish candle. The candle is clearly twice the size of this candle and this candle. But if you look at the third candle, this candle right here, we can see that the size of that candle is actually smaller. The only real momentum candle we can actually find here is this bearish candle right here. Or we actually only have 2 candles visible here, but I'm pretty sure the third candle was also less than half the size of this candle right here. So this was probably a bearish momentum candle, and we will talk more about bearish momentum candles next. To continue watching this video, simply click or tap on the screen right here. This was just a short clip from our full candlestick pattern trading course, so I hope I will see you guys in the full video very soon.